I guarantee you've made excuses at some point in your life. They whisper comfort in your ears, shielding you from risk, failure, and the unknown. But where have they gotten you? Have they moved you closer to the life you want? Or have they held you back, shackling your potential and leaving your dreams to gather dust? Excuses aren't just words. They're self-imposed barriers. They sound like, I don't have the time, or I'm not ready, or even worse, I'll start tomorrow. But excuses are lies we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. And comfort, my friends, is the silent killer of growth. Imagine for a moment that you stripped away every excuse. What would your world look like if you took ownership of every decision, every failure, and every triumph? How unstoppable could you be? Your power lies in responsibility. It's where transformation begins. Stop waiting for a savior, a sign, or the perfect moment. Understand that no one is coming to save you. Your dreams are yours to achieve, and your life is yours to build. You hold the pen, and every day you write your story. So will it be a tale of excuses and regrets, or one of resilience and triumph? When you blame your circumstances, your past, or others for where you are, you're giving away your power. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim it. You tell the world, I'm in charge here, and I will create the life I want. That's when the magic begins. Excuses thrive in a mind focused on problems. So flip the switch. Instead of saying, I can't because, start asking, how can I? Every time you look for a solution, you expand your possibilities. Every time you focus on what you can do rather than what you can't, you take a step forward. Progress begins with perspective. Some people say they're waiting for the right time, but let me tell you something, there is no perfect time. Life will never present a moment wrapped in a bow with a tag that says, now is your time. You create that moment. You take messy, imperfect action and figure it out along the way. Because the truth is, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Success isn't handed out like a party favor. It's earned through effort, persistence, and a refusal to quit. You're going to face obstacles. You're going to stumble, but every stumble is a lesson. Every obstacle an opportunity to grow stronger. What matters isn't how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. Commit to the process. Commit to doing the hard things. Commit to yourself. Take a hard look at the people around you. Are they lifting you up or holding you down? Surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and refuse to let you settle for less than your best. The energy you absorb shapes the life you create. Choose wisely. I know excuses are comforting, but they're also the chains holding you back from the life you deserve. You don't need more time, more resources, or more permission. You need more action. You need to step into your power and decide that you're done playing small. What are you going to do today to take back control of your life? How will you show up for yourself? Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Because everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of your excuses. No more excuses. No more waiting. It's time to act. Your life is waiting for you to claim it. Go make it happen. In the journey of our lives, there are threads we weave and others we merely observe. Each day presents us with numerous choices, challenges, and circumstances, each demanding a response. Yet amidst this chaotic symphony lies a nuance of wisdom, the power to discern what lies within our control and what does not. As it's been said, success is not about controlling the outcome, but rather mastering the controllables. These words resonate deeply, echoing the timeless truth that our strength lies not in dictating external events, but in harnessing the power within. Let me give you an example of a young entrepreneur named Sarah. Sarah was brimming with ambition and zeal when she embarked on her maiden voyage into the world of business. Armed with a vision and unwavering determination, she set sail, navigating the waters of entrepreneurship. Yet, despite her fervent efforts, she encounters the setbacks and challenges threatening to derail her dreams. In the face of adversity, Sarah finds herself at a crossroads. She could succumb to the siren song of despair, allowing external circumstances to dictate her fate, or she could heed the wisdom of the ages, focusing her energies on the controllables, which are her mindset, her actions, and reactions. With unwavering resolve, Sarah chooses the latter. She channels her energy into honing her skills, cultivating resilience, and nurturing a growth mindset. Instead of dwelling on the uncertainties beyond her control, she immerses herself in the present moment, seizing every opportunity for growth and learning. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Sarah embodies this timeless wisdom, embracing the power of her thoughts and actions to shape her reality. As days turn into weeks and weeks into months, Sarah's perseverance bears fruit. Despite the ever-present challenges, she charts a course of steady progress, inching closer to her goals with each passing day. Her journey is not without its share of setbacks and obstacles, but she faces them with courage and resilience, knowing that true power lies in how she responds. Through her example, Sarah inspires those around her to embrace the same philosophy, to focus on controllables and let go of the rest. In a world fraught with uncertainty and volatility, this simple yet profound truth becomes their guiding light. In the words of orator Eddie Pinero, "You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails." Sarah exemplifies this principle, harnessing the power within to navigate life's turbulent seas with grace and resilience. So as we reflect on Sarah's journey, let's heed the lesson that lies within her story. Let's embrace the power of focusing on controllables, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. In doing so, we unlock the key to true empowerment, transcending the limitations of circumstance to forge our own destiny. Life requires more than just following instructions or going through the motions. If you want to grow, thrive, and make better decisions, you need to think critically. And the good news is, critical thinking is a skill, not a talent. It's something you can develop and sharpen with practice. So what exactly is critical thinking? Well, it's the ability to objectively analyze information, challenge assumptions, and make decisions based on logic and evidence, not just emotions or opinions. It's about being thoughtful, not reactive. So let's dive into how you develop this critical thinking skill. First, ask the right questions. At the heart of critical thinking lies one thing: questions. So start asking yourself, what evidence supports this? Is this fact or opinion? What are the possible outcomes? The more curious you become, the better your thinking will be. Don't just accept things at face value, dig deeper. Whether you're listening to the news, reading an article, or making a decision, train yourself to ask, is this really true? Second, challenge your own assumptions. We all have biases, beliefs we accept without question because they're familiar. Critical thinking requires that you identify those assumptions and ask, what if I'm wrong? Think of it like this. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. When you question your own beliefs and consider new perspectives, you sharpen your mind and open yourself to better solutions. The goal isn't to always be right. It's to be open to being better. Third, practice active listening. One of the best ways to develop critical thinking is by listening to understand, not just respond. Whether it's a conversation, a podcast, or an argument, slow down and listen carefully to not only what's being said, but what's not being said. Critical thinkers listen with curiosity, not judgment. They gather information from multiple sources before forming conclusions. The more perspectives you engage with, the more well-rounded your thinking becomes. Fourth, analyze and evaluate the information. We're bombarded with information daily. Some of it's useful, a lot of it's not. Your job as a critical thinker is to filter the noise and focus on what matters. Look for facts over opinions. Seek reliable sources instead of rumors. Ask yourself, what's the motive behind this message? In a world of clickbait and misinformation, the ability to separate truth from fluff is priceless. Number 5, develop problem-solving skills. Critical thinking isn't just about analyzing information. It's about using that information to solve problems effectively. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask, what are all the possible solutions? What are the pros and cons of each option? What's the next best step based on the evidence? Critical thinkers focus on solutions, not excuses. They don't avoid tough decisions, they embrace them. Number 6 is reflect and learn from the experience. After every decision or experience, reflect on what you learned or what could have been done better. Reflection is essential for growth. Critical thinking is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Every time you pause to reflect, you give yourself the chance to make better decisions in the future. After all, it's about progress, not perfection. So finally, developing critical thinking skills is like giving yourself a compass. It helps you navigate life's challenges with clarity and confidence. You won't just follow the crowd, you'll carve your own path. And here's the key. It's a process, not a destination. The more you practice questioning, analyzing, and reflecting, the sharper your mind will become. In the end, the quality of your decisions shapes the quality of your life. So ask questions, challenge assumptions, listen actively, and never stop learning. When you master your mind, you master your life. Have you ever stopped to think about the power you hold in each moment? Not just the big life-changing moments, but the small, everyday decisions that shape the course of your life. Decisions are a superpower, one we often overlook. But here's the truth. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a step that builds your life. The problem is most people don't realize this. Most people are stuck in habits, living on autopilot, victims of their routines. Think about it. How many of your daily actions are done even without thinking? You wake up, check your phone, maybe hit the snooze a few times. You grab something quick for breakfast, head off to work or your daily routine, and before you know it, the day's gone. It's easy to fall into the same patterns day after day without stopping to realize that those small, mindless choices are steering your life. The scary part is those habits can lead you to a life you never really chose. But it doesn't have to be this way. You have the power to make decisions that can change everything. Think back to a time when you had to make a big decision. Maybe it was about your career, a relationship, or even your health. It felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, but once you made a decision, your world started to shift. You decided to take a new job, and suddenly your daily choices started to align with that decision. You decided to leave a relationship that wasn't right for you, and it opened the door to new opportunities. The big decisions create a ripple effect, leading to smaller daily choices that shape your reality. Every day, you're faced with decisions that can either move you forward or keep you stuck. Will you take action on your goals, or will you stay in your comfort zone? Will you fuel your body with what it needs, or will you give in to what's easy? It's in these moments that you have the chance to flex your superpower, the power of choice, the power to direct your own life. The key is this: you're always one decision away from a different life. And it's not just the big choices. It's the small, consistent decisions that really define your path. The decision to show up, to be disciplined, to put in the work when no one's watching. These are the decisions that build the life you want. So ask yourself, are you living by design or by default? Are you actively choosing the life you want, or are you letting habits and routines run the show? Because the truth is, you can make a decision today, right now, that will set your future in motion. You can choose to take control, be the driver of your own life, rather than a passenger on autopilot. Life is a series of choices. You decide what direction you go in, what you focus on, and how you respond to what happens. Your decisions define your destiny. And here's the beautiful part. No matter where you are right now, you have the power to change it. You have the power to choose. So make the decision to live consciously, to break free from old habits, and to create the life you've always wanted. Because in the end, your life is made up of the decisions you make. Flex your superpower and decide to make it extraordinary. Are you spending your time, or are you investing your time? That's the question that came up in a recent feed, and it got me thinking, because ironically, at that moment when the question was presented, I was aimlessly scrolling, totally unaware of what I was even doing. Yes, even mindset coaches can get caught up in doing mindless things. There's an interesting stat that says people only use their conscious mind 5% of the time, which means that 95% of our daily activity is subconscious. Now, I've been aware of this stat for quite a while, and I even use it in my coaching and presentations, yet here I was, subconsciously spending time on mindless activities. So maybe it was a divine intervention, because when that question came up, it activated my conscious mind. It got me to thinking. If we see time as a commodity, there's a limited supply. We're obviously here for a finite period. Eventually, time will run out for all of us. So how we use that time suddenly becomes valuable. In the financial world, the wealthy understand this concept. By spending, I may get an immediate return, but the real wealth is created when they invest. The investment may not pay dividends right away, but with time, they'll be richer in the long run. When we spend our time, that time is gone. Sure, there might be some enjoyment in the moment, but there's no long-term return. However, if I invest my time, then for sure there'll be a return, because I've used my time to bring about something greater. Let me give you some examples of subtle changes that you can make that'll transform spending your time into investing your time. We all enjoy watching a good movie.
So how about instead of the mindless action flicks, we make a switch to a documentary, something that will empower the mind. One of my favorite things to do is watch sports documentaries. After all, they combine two of my favorite things, sports and the human struggle to overcome adversity. In almost every one I watch, what's highlighted is the athlete's mindset to achieve the greatness. Next, instead of that reality TV show you've been glued to, how about you spend that hour reading about history or biography? There are some great books out there, but I bet you haven't put in the effort. Here's a stat that blows my mind. 1/3 of high school graduates never read another book after leaving school. They invested their time while in school, but have since become spenders. The changes don't have to be drastic, and it doesn't have to be a total switch to just investing. I'll admit, there are some benefits to spending, like the immediate gratification, but the investing is where the real power lies. In Joe Rogan's podcast, he says to be productive, pretend there's a documentary crew following you around. If there were cameras on you 24/7, how would your days change? My guess is that a lot of you spenders will turn into investors. Sometimes when you lose, you actually win. How can two seemingly opposite results occur from a single event? After all, no one likes to lose. Of course, we don't go into competitions or business with the purpose of losing. In fact, I'd say that losing sucks. And prolonged losing hurts way more than just taking the single L. The psychological impact of losing can alter one's identity, shake our foundation, and cause us to delay entering the arena altogether for fear of a repeated outcome. We attach losing with being a loser. So where's the win in the loss? I'd say there's many things to gain in a loss. When I'm coaching teams, I use a saying that fits perfectly here. It goes, we either win or we learn. We either win or we learn. We've completely taken loss off the table. We are not losers if we lose, but rather we will win because we'll learn. There's a lot of good in a loss as long as we learn from it. A loss only becomes a loss if we don't extract the lessons, if we don't learn from the mistakes or feel the pain or hurt. The experience of a loss can be, and I'd say is, more valuable to one's growth than wins could ever be. Because your true character is revealed in losing. How you deal with it and how you respond is completely under your control. What we forget is that by even entering the arena, we are taking a risk if the outcome is win or lose. See, we're already on shaky ground because the outcome is undetermined. But by taking the preposition that we either win or we learn, there is no fear to be had. You're about to become better just by going through the experience. And what a powerful position that is. You can't be broken because even in the worst of times, you are becoming a warrior. You may lose the battle, but you'll never lose the war. Nothing is more frustrating than competing against an opponent that you can't beat because when they get knocked down, they regroup, they dust themselves off, and come back even stronger and more determined than ever. You can now be your most confident self simply because loss is off the table. You either win or you learn. And what a great feeling